Monday night, October 6th at 7 p.m., a medical helicopter crashes into Highway 50 in Sacramento. 3 crew members trapped, one pinned under the wreckage, and then something incredible happens. 15 people, strangers, run towards the wreckage, and together they lift the helicopter. This is the story of a life-saving mission that went wrong and the everyday heroes who made sure everyone survived. I'm LanceThePI, Sacramento's #1 live streamer. I'm a private investigator and former police officer, and I've worked crash scenes before. I've investigated incidents like this before, and I know how to break down the facts. What you're about to hear is based on verified information, flight data, witness accounts, and official reports. This is what we know about the Highway 50 helicopter crash. Let's get into it. Monday night, October 6th, around 7 p.m., eastbound Highway 50 near 59th Street and Stockton Boulevard. A Reach Air Medical Services helicopter went down. Registration number N414RX. It hits the freeway and everything stops. Here's what you need to understand. This wasn't a slow descent. This was sudden. The helicopter had just taken off from UC Davis Medical Center. Minutes into the flight, low altitude, and then impact. 3 crew members were on board, a pilot, a flight nurse, and a paramedic. All 3 were injured. One of them was trapped under the wreckage. Now here's where the story becomes incredible. About 15 people stopped their cars, got out, and ran towards the crash. A Sacramento fire captain is first on the scene, but he's not alone for long. These bystanders don't hesitate. They don't wait. They act. Together, firefighters and civilians, they lift the helicopter. They free the trapped crew member, a female crew member pinned underneath. Think about that for a second. 15 strangers working together, lifting a helicopter with their bare hands. That's not something you see every day. That's heroism. All 3 crew members were transported to the hospital within 20 minutes of first responders arriving. All 3 were in critical condition, but all 3 survived. Let me walk you through what happened before the crash, because understanding the flight path matters. The helicopter took off from Redding around 5 p.m. that Monday evening. Redding is about 160 miles north of Sacramento. First stop, Red Bluff. They landed at a hospital there to pick up a critically ill patient who needed advanced care. From Red Bluff, they flew south to UC Davis Medical Center in Sacramento. That's one of the top trauma centers in Northern California. Level 1 trauma, the place you go when every second counts. They landed at UC Davis, transferred the patient safely. Mission accomplished. The patient is now in good hands getting the care they need. Now it's just the 3 crew members, the pilot, the nurse, and the paramedic. They're heading back north to Redding, back to base. The helicopter takes off, climbs, and then something goes wrong. Just minutes after takeoff, the aircraft goes down on Highway 50. Low altitude, high traffic area, the worst possible scenario. The case is still under investigation, but the timing tells us something. This happened right after takeoff. That's a critical phase of flight. Any mechanical issue, any problem with the aircraft, that's when it shows up. The helicopter was operated by Reach Medical Services. If you're not familiar with them, let me explain who they are and what they do. Reach is one of the largest air medical transport companies in the United States. They operate helicopters and fixed-wing aircraft across multiple states. Their entire purpose is saving lives. When someone is critically injured or ill in a remote area, when ground ambulances can't get there fast enough, when every second counts, Reach gets the call. Trauma victims, heart attack patients, stroke victims, kids in critical condition, people who would die without immediate advanced care. They work with hospitals, fire departments, emergency medical services, and their crews are highly trained professionals. Pilots with thousands of flight hours, flight nurses with advanced certifications, paramedics trained for the most extreme medical emergency. These people don't do this job for the money. They do it because when your family member needs help, when your child is dying, when time is running out, someone has to answer the call. The mission that night from Red Bluff to UC Davis, the patient made it. That's a life saved. That's what Reach does every single day. So when something like this happens, when a crew goes down, it hits the entire emergency medical community, because these are the people who fly towards danger while everyone else is running away. Now let's talk about the helicopter. This was an Airbus H-130, also known as the EC-130 in older designations. This is one of the most popular helicopters in the emergency medical services. Single engine, can carry up to 7 people. Known for being reliable, versatile, and safe. Reach operates multiple H-130s helicopters in their fleet. They're designed specifically for missions like this. But here's what's really important about this aircraft. It has a crash-resistant fuel system, and that likely saved lives. When the helicopters crash, one of the biggest dangers is fire. The fuel tank ruptures, fuel sprays everywhere, ignites, and the aircraft becomes an inferno in seconds. But the H-130 is designed differently. The fuel system is built to contain the fuel even in a crash. It prevents ruptures, it stops fuel from spraying, and it dramatically reduces the chance of fire. In this crash, no fire. The helicopter went down hard, but it didn't burn. That gave the bystanders time to help. It gave first responders time to get in, and it gave those crew members a chance to survive. This is why aircraft design matters. This is why safety engineering saves lives, because when everything goes wrong, when a helicopter falls from the sky, these systems are the difference between life and death. We still don't know the cause of the crash. Could be a mechanical failure, could be a technical issue, could be something else entirely, but whatever went wrong, the aircraft safety features did exactly what they were designed to do. Let's talk about what happened the moment that helicopter hit the ground, because this is where you see the absolute best of humanity. The crash happens at 7 p.m. Highway 50, rush hour traffic is starting to thin out, but there are still plenty of people on the road. The Sacramento fire captain is nearby. He's one of the first on the scene, and immediately he sees the problem. One crew member is trapped, pinned under the wreckage. Now he's trained for this, but he can't lift the helicopter by himself. Nobody can. That's when about 15 bystanders showed up. Regular people driving home from work, running errands, living their lives. They see the crash. They see someone trapped, and they don't think twice. They run over, and together the fire captain and these civilians, they lift the helicopter. They get leverage, they coordinate, and they free the trapped crew member. A female crew member pinned underneath, and now she's free. Then the full emergency response arrived. Sacramento Fire, CHP, AMR paramedics. They triage the 3 crew members, and all 3 are in critical condition. Within 20 minutes of the crews arriving, all 3 victims are on their way to the hospital. That's fast, that's professional, that's what saves lives. Highway 50 was shut down for hours. Traffic was backed up for miles, but nobody complained because everybody understood what just happened. 15 strangers lifted a helicopter to save somebody they've never met. A fire captain led civilians in a rescue operation, and 3 people who dedicated their lives to saving others got a second chance. That's Sacramento. That's community. That's what we do for each other. So what happens now? The investigation. The National Transportation Safety Board, the NTSB, is leading the investigation into the crash. They're the federal agency responsible for investigating all civilian aircraft accidents in the United States. The FAA, a Federal Aviation Administration, is also involved. They regulate civil aviation and will be looking at whether any regulations or procedures need to change. Here's how the investigations work. The NTSB investigators are already on the scene. They're documenting everything. They examine every piece of the wreckage. They pull maintenance records for the helicopter. They'll interview the crew members once they're able to talk. They'll check weather data. They'll analyze the flight path. They're looking for a cause. Was it mechanical failure, engine problems, flight control issues, or something else? These investigations take time. We're talking months, sometimes over a year. They're thorough, they're detailed, and they don't rush. When they release their final report, it will tell us exactly what happened, what went wrong, and what can be done to prevent it happening again. I'll be following this investigation every step of the way. When there's an update, when new information comes out, I'll break it down for you right here. I'm going to keep following the story, the investigation, the recovery of the crew members, and all of it, and I'll bring you updates as they happen. If you want real-time news and investigations like this, hit that subscribe button right now. Follow me on social media. Turn on notifications because I'm bringing you the stories that matter. I'm LanceThePI, Sacramento's #1 live streamer. Subscribe and follow for more real-time news regulations.